Aloha, Richard Halverson here, and this is ITS128, and today is October 16th, and today I'd like to, we're in chapter 5, and I'd like to go over the programming projects at the end of the chapter. So let's, if we look at La Lima, we are in around this week, 8, and this was a previous video I made on the quizzes, and then today we're gonna go through these programming projects. So you can click on this link here, and Rebel pops up and log in. And so here's where we are, chapter 5. And so let's start with this programming project number 1 here. And while this is coming up, I'm going to bring up CMD. There it is. And I want to create a test program, something like print hello chapter 5 projects, and save this, make sure we get this, make sure this works, and I want to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to call it test.py. Okay, and so we should be able to see it right here. And so let's run this. Oh, I have to figure out where my desktop is. Here's my, I've opened up my file manager here, and here I am on my desktop. And there's my test.py, but I need the path. So I'm going to go to properties, location. There's the path. I'm going to copy this, copy, and go to CMD. CD paste. All right, I just want to make sure I am recording here. Okay, good. I wanted to see my microphone. I didn't want to get all the way through the video and not have my sound on. So let me go back to what I was doing here. All right, so we have so let's try this program. Python test.py. There it is. Hello, chapter 5. Okay. Okay, so we're good. Let's look at the first programming project. Okay, write a program that reads an unspecified number of integers, determines how many positive, how many negatives, and computes the total and the average. All right, so enter an integer, and then integer, and then you end it by doing 0. And it says there's 3 positives, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 1 negative, and the total is 5, and the average is 12.5. And if you just enter in 0 at the beginning, it says no numbers are entered or were entered. This English isn't sometimes the best, but I'm just going to do just like they say. All right, so let's open up our test program here. And so I'm going to need to keep track of positives, negatives, and total. And I need to be, count. Okay, so let's just start out here. Positives equals 0, negatives equals 0. Total, to compute the average, I need the total, and I also need the count. the number of them equals 0. Okay, so I got my 4 variables here. That count is a different color, so it could be a reserved word, so I'm going to change it to num. All right. While so now we want to have a loop, and we want to start asking this question. And when we get an input of 0, we want to end the loop. Let's see. Well, but let's just start out by asking for I. I equals int input. Let's see. I'm just going to do I, and you have to. It's up to you to make it look like this. And so I have an I, and let's do while I is not equal to 0. I can do it that way. I can do while not I equals 0. Then you want to okay. So now so either way you want to add I to total. And then I want to add I want to increment the count. And if I is greater than 0, then I want to increment positives. And you want to, I'm not going to, add in the rest of the code for counting up the negatives, but I want you to add that. So I'm just going to leave that part out, and you add it. And then I want to, and that's all I need to do. So I increment the total, I increment the num. If it's positives, if I is greater than 0, I increment the positives, and then you have to add the code for the negatives. And then I just want to continue the loop. And so to continue the loop, I just I don't indent. If I wanted to continue this if statement, the next statement would be here, where the cursor is blinking. If the next statement was after the if, the cursor would blink there. But what I want to do is I want to put the statement that's after the while. So I'm going to go all the way back to the same indentation of while. And oh, I know, I forgot. I have to read in the next I, so I got to copy this. And so that's got to be there. That's got to be within the loop. And then just outside of the loop is done. And so I'm gonna the average equals is total total over num. Okay, I'm gonna run this. So I just need to go up arrow enter, and asks for I, and I'm going to do the same example as textbook here, which is one positives is not defined. Well, let's debug this thing. Positives. Spelled it wrong. You guys probably saw that a long time ago. All right, so that does that. So I'm going to run it again. and I'm going to put 1. Okay. 2, I'm going to say 0 because I know negatives won't work. I'm going to say 0 now. And it says the average is 1.5. Oh, I want to display out the count too, don't I? No, I don't. I just print out the total and the average. Okay, so I could print out the total. That would simply be adding this, print total. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Okay, that looks like that works. Now, there are a couple of things. Let's see, if you put in, there's the problem of what happens testing the, there's this case here where you just enter in 0 from the very beginning. And the trouble right now is if we run it and we enter in 0, it's going to bomb. It says it threw a 0 division exception error. So it says you can't divide by 0. So so that's why you need to somewhere along the line test. You need to take care of that case, and you need to take care of the case of incrementing the negatives also. And after that, it should work. All right, so so I'm going to leave it at that, and let's go to the next one. Let's see now. Project number 2. Suppose that the tuition for a university is $10,000 this year, and it increases 5% every year. In 1 year, the tuition will be $10,500. Write a program that displays the tuition in 10 years and the total cost of 4 years worth of tuition starting after the 10th year. Okay, so this is somebody who's figuring out how they're going to pay for college. Okay, so imagine a parent. Okay, so anyway, so we're supposed to make. Okay, so we just have to display the tuition in 10 years, and then the cost of the tuition, cost of 4 years of tuition following the 10th year. Okay, so first, let's start by figuring out what the tuition is every year. Okay, so let's see. So let's start out with get rid of all this. Tuition equals. I'm going to make this easier so I can see. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I want to move this over here, and this over here, and I want to do this here. See, normally I have multiple screens when I'm doing this, and I want to keep this all in one screen. All right. It starts out at 10,000 a year. So let's say it starts out at 10,000. It starts out at 10,000, and let's have a for loop. For year in range 1. How do you do that range thing? 1, 11. No, let's just do 1, 15. Okay. 1, 15. For year in range 1, 15. So it's going to go all the way up from 1 to 14. Okay. And inside, oops, I got to put a colon. And then inside, I want to say, I want to add 5%. I want to add 5% to the tuition. So I want to say tuition equals the tuition plus 5% of the tuition, which is 0.05 times the tuition. Okay, and with operator precedence, it's going to do this computation first. It's going to calculate that out. It's going to be 5%, and then it's going to add that to the current tuition, and so the new tuition is going to be that. All right, and let's print this out. Print, and I want to print out year, and I want to print out the tuition. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to run this and see what happens. Okay. Let's do this. All right, here we go. So this is what the tuition is all the way up through year 14. So what we can do is I don't know. We could add up the tuition. Well, okay, let's just skip all the years up through 10 and add, and then start the adding at year 11. Yeah, that's a way to do it. So we could do this. After the first year, after the 10th year. So let's right here, let's if year is greater than 10, then cost is added to, you add tuition to cost. Okay, let's down here we can put, not there, but there. Let's also put cost in there. Not there, there. Okay, now we're using cost here, and actually, as you know, what this is cost equals cost plus tuition. And the trouble is we have cost on the right side of an assignment, and which means it has to be defined, and it's not defined, so let's define it. All right, let's run this and see what this looks like. Click here, up arrow, enter, and we get no cost. Then we start accruing some cost. And so this would be the final cost. So this is the final number we're after, I'm quite sure. That's a tuition after tuition for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4 after the 10th year. You know, the other thing that's weird is the way these are printing out. And so we can do formatting. If we search for Python format function, I'm going to call it, because there's a different formatting things. There's that one and that one. Let's see what this one is. I'm looking for the easier one. Ah, here we go. So we format a value with a format specification. And these are the format specifications. That's percent. So I just want to do, there's some examples. D, F, F. Well, I'm going to try format, parentheses, cost, comma, quote. I don't remember what it is. It's a 2 point. Is it F 2.0 or F? Ah, maybe it's 2.0 F. Okay, I believe that's what it is. 10.2 F. I think that's what. And I got to make sure to close all the parentheses. Let's run this. see what this looks like. Oh yeah, okay, so this now looks like money. Okay, so anyway, I think I've given you everything you need to know to do this project. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, here write a program that prompts the user to enter the number of students and then each student's name and score. And then at the end, it displays the highest score and the second highest score. Assume that the number of students is at least 2. Okay, so first you're gonna ask how many students, and then so that's going to be an integer that you read in, and then it's going to loop that many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each loop you ask a student name and you ask a student score, and at the very end it keeps track of stuff. Basically we have to keep track of the highest score, and we have to keep track of the second highest score. So each time we read in a new student, we have to compare that with the second highest score and the highest score, and it might replace one of those. And we have to do it in a way where if it replaces the highest score, then the old highest score becomes the second highest score. Okay, so, and then at the end, you say the top 2 students are this person with this score and this person with this score. Okay, so let's see, how can I help you out with that? Let's start by let's see. Well, let's just go. First, let's ask the number of students. Num equals it's an integer, and we're asking input num studs. All right, so we got the number of students, and then see, how do we ask the name? Okay, stud name equals input name, and we're going to ask a score. So stud score equals, and then let's assume they are integers. And then we're going to want to do it. Okay, so this is the first one. So we want to keep a high student name, highest name, and right now there's only one in there, so it's going to be stud score, student name, and we want to say highest score equals stud score. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to read in another student. And this is either going to be the second highest score or the highest score. So let's just compare if stud score that we just read in, if that student score is greater than highest score, then we want to say highest score. We want to exchange them. So let's use this fancy exchange instruction or statement that I've only seen in Python. and we'll do stud score, and that equals stud score, comma, highest score. And then we know that now we know that the stud score that we read in, oh, we got to do the name too. Highest name, stud name equals stud name, highest name. All right, so now at this point, we know that the highest, the score that now we know that stud name and stud score are the second highest, because if they were the highest, we just exchanged them. So we exchanged them with the second highest. So whatever is in they may have been exchanged. So anyway, so whatever is in stud score now is second highest. Second name equals stud name, and second score equals stud score. Okay. So so let me put some comments in here. Read input first student. Set to highest score, only score. Okay, then read input second student. Okay. Then if second score higher than highest, exchange, then exchange. So stud, okay, well anyway, you know what I mean. All right, now stud name is second highest. And so we set that into, okay, so at this point we have a second highest score and a highest score, and it's correct. Okay, so now and there's going to be at least two, and so now we've read in our two. Now let's do some sort of while loop, I guess. Oh no, we have a number. Oh, we have a number. So num equals num minus 2. There's that many left, and so we can do 4 I in range num. That'll work. Read the student score. Copy this. Put that there, except it should be indented. And let's do this. No, let's not do that. Let's first test the second highest. Okay, if stud score if it's greater than the second highest, then exchange this one. Exchange this one we just read in with the second highest. So I'm going to do second score, comma, stud score equals stud score, comma, second second score. Now we got to do the name too. Second name stud name equals stud name, comma, second name. All right. And then we need to now check. It's possible that that it's actually bigger than the first name. So we got to do that test also. And that is actually the same as, no, that's not the same as that. I'm just going to copy, paste. And really we want, this one's got to be back there. If second score, now let me copy this, put this here. If student score is, if second score greater than highest score, then highest score and second score need to be exchanged. And of course, highest name and second name need to be exchanged. Okay, so so the assumption right now, so at this point, at the beginning of every one of these loops, we know that the highest score is stored and the second highest score is stored. And then we read in a new score. And first we're going to check to see if that score is greater than the second highest score. And if it is, we exchange it. Now, and if the second highest, and so there's a new second highest score now. But it is possible that that score that we just read in is bigger than the highest score. So that's what this check does right here. And then this, if it's true, it exchanges the second highest with the highest. And if it's not true, it doesn't. And so at the end of this loop, we have that the second highest. So it's back to this. It's back to this at the end of this loop. That's all. All right. Let's see, is that? Okay, well then after that we need to print out. So when this loop is all done, we need to print out highest is highest score, highest name, and we need to print the second highest. All right, so that should be pretty close. Let me run this. Number of students, 5. Let's do this one right here. Smith, 60. Jones, 96. Peterson, 85. Greenlaw, 98. Zhang, 95. Greenlaw and Jones, is that the answer? Yeah. All right, gee, I gave you too much on that one, but anyway, let's go to the next one here. So that was 3. Let's do 4. Okay, this one here, if you go all the way down here, it says, for the formula to compute the monthly payment, see live example 2.8, find this program. Okay, so that program will do it for where with that program you enter in the amount and you enter in the number of years and it just outputs that. And you enter in the interest rate and it just outputs that. And what this assignment is to make it into a loop where it starts out at 5% interest. So you don't enter the interest rate anymore. It just will do it automatically from 5% to 8% in increments of an eighth, which is 0.125 in those increments. Let's go back and look at 5.8, and I believe that is section 2.4. I can go back here, assignments, go back to about elementary programming, go to about section 214, 2.14. And we are looking for, here's how to compute the monthly. This is the formula. So this is a big thing. Okay, this is how you design it. You probably went through this. Here, 2.8, compute loan.py. So this is the program. So let us just copy this. Copy. And let's go over to here and let's get rid of all this. And let's do a pasto and let's see what we got. All right, got some silly line numbers here. Let me do this. And then I'm going to do all right, and then let me select all this again and do another shift tab. All right, so enter the interest rate. Let me clean this up a little bit. Enter the, that's that. This is that. Blah, blah. That. And then it displays that. These are closed up nicely. Yeah. Okay, let's just run this and see what it looks like. Enter annual interest rate, 8.25. Now let's make it 5. Number of years, 5. Enter loan amount, $10,000. The monthly payment is 188.71, and the total payment is going to, when you add it all, it's going to be that amount. And that is what it says. Okay, let's go back to our assignment here. We are in programming project 4. Yes, and so for 5%, it's 188.71, 11,322.74. Yes. All right, so that looks like, okay, so what we got to do is we got to make a loop so it prints out like this. Asks loan amount, number of years, does not ask the interest rate, and it prints out, this looks actually, this is a nice looking table when it's there's tabs here, and then it ends up tabbing up nicely. All right, so well, I would do something like we need the interest rate. Now we don't need that. I'm just going to go like that. We need to enter. We need to enter a number of years. We need to enter loan amount, and then we need to loop for the interest rates. So we need to do something like well, gee, something happened to my notes. Oh well. So we have okay. So for I'm trying to remember how I did this. Annual. I'm going to call it annual interest rate equals 5.0. While AIR is less than or equal to 8.0, do some stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compute the monthly interest rate. I'm going to use this one here. Monthly interest rate is that, but it's not that. It's AIR. Actually, I'm going to make this even easier. I'm going to make the loop variable be that. Okay, it's that. And then after that, we calculate the loan payment. We calculate the total payment. And instead of printing it out this way, let's print it out. Instead of printing it out this way, let's print it out something like print. Oh, how is it supposed to look? Oh, percentage rate, percentage, payment, and total. Oh, for each of those interest rates. Okay. Print annual interest rate, and then you want to print. I'm going to print tab character after that. Then I want to print monthly payment. So I want to print this. And then I want to print another tab. And then I want to print this. That. And before this loop even starts, I want to print out print interest rate tab monthly payment tab total payment or something. Quote close and close that. Okay, so that prints out that title bar, and then we start looping from interest rate equals. Oh, I got an increment. I'm gonna get rid of this. I need to go. Well, this can be down here, and then I need to annual interest rate. Annual interest rate plus equals 1/8. All right, I'm going to see what this does. enter, what? Oh, let me just Control C. Yeah, okay. I gotta get rid of this. Don't need that. Don't need this. Oh, geez. Oh yeah, don't need that either. Okay. That's where I start. I start with number of years. I'm gonna put this down here, and I'm gonna start with this. Okay. I'm gonna do this one here. Enter number of years as an integer. Fine. Enter loan amount, 10,000. Ooh. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5. 80. Okay, these are not quite the same. Yeah, there's a reason for that, and the reason for that is because the method that this thing uses actually truncates, but you want to maybe not, you maybe don't want to print it out this way. Something like well, let's find one that's wrong and test it. Okay, that was the one we just had. Was this said 189.85, and this says 189.86, and that's because it's probably, see, this thing is, it could have been like 189.857 or something, and in this case it rounded it correctly. So is there a round Python round function? Let's see what that says. Ooh, there is a round function. Just like that. Okay, great. I'm going to use that one. Let's say round just that. Comma 2, close. Okay. So that is rounding instead. And now when we run this, uh, 10,000, and now it's 186, like 186. Okay, anyway, you got to make it look like, you have to make it look like this, and it's a formatting thing. You know, percent there and all that. All right, what's the next project here? Let's go to 5. And this question, these are the letters, A, E, O, U. Write a program that prompts the user to enter a string and displays the number of vowels and consonants in the string. Okay, so, you know, consonants is anything other than a vowel, I guess. And so, for example, programming is fun. Got 5 vowels and 11 consonants. So spaces don't count as anything. And so, you know, got the vowels here, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So how would I write a program like that? Well, this. I'm going to save this. Get rid of this. And start out with enter a string. input string. You gotta make it look better. It's string. S equals input string. And so we want to count, we want to go through each character of S one by one. So I think we can do something, I don't want to mix it. Let's do it this way. For I in range of, what is the length of, what is the, what's the length of number of, okay, I'm just, there's several ways to do this. I know of another way that'll work fine, but I'm just gonna look at this one. For Python string length, len. So it's for I in range len s, what we can do is if s, let's do lower, s lower. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a temporary variable to make it easier for myself. SL, when SL equals S I dot lower. And then if SL is equal to A, or SL is equal to E, or SL equal to I, or SL equal to O, or SL equal to U. If that's the case, then it's a vowel. So V's vowel plus 1. Those are vowels. I just said vowel equal to 0 to start out with. And consonants is equal to 0 to start out with. And I need to do, you got to do consonants, and you got to make sure you skip spaces. Okay? You count consonants in a way that skips spaces. Okay? I'll leave that to you. And then at the end, we can say print. Vowels is vowels. Programming is fun. 5 vowels. Okay? So, there's a brute force way to figure, well, whatever. So just, you can assume that a character is either a vowel or a consonant or a space. Okay? You can assume that. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think you can assume that. What about, no, wait a minute. I take that back. Python is alpha. Is alpha function. Yeah, you want to use that. So I would do but then it's a space alpha. Let me just see. Let me try something here. I'm gonna do this. If S is alpha, then alpha 1. No, I'm just going to do this. Print SI. Because I want to see what it thinks is an alpha. I want to see if it says the spaces are alpha, basically. I'm sure it doesn't say. I don't know what it says. Okay, let's try this again. Programming is fun. Okay, it has said that, okay, there's a space in between G and I, and there should be a space between S and F, and there's not. So now we know that, now we know how to figure out if something is an alpha, and if something is an alpha, it is either a consonant or a vowel, can't be anything else, can't be both. So you should be able to figure this one out pretty, think about it a little bit. All right, let's look at the last one. All right, another one of these ISBN ones. Okay, this one's a little different. This is the formula for the last, in this case it's digits. ISBN 13, it's always digits. If the checksum is, so this is going to be, this is mod 10, or 10 minus something that's mod 10. So something that's mod 10 can be 0 through 9, correct? You take a number, you take it mod 10, the result is going to be something between 0 through 9. So that means that this in blue here is going to be, can be 0 through 9. And so if we subtract that from 10, 10 minus 0 is 10, all the way down to 10 minus 9 is 1. So what we're saying is that this here is going to be 1 through 10. And this right here says if the checksum is 10, replace it with 0. You got that? All right. So that's how we compute the checksum for the last digit. That's how we compute the last digit for an ISBN 13 number. So for an ISBN 13 number, you enter the first 12 digits, and out pops, and then it outputs what the checksum digit is. Okay, so this is similar to a previous one. What I'm going to do, I think, is maybe I'll just write a program to compute the checksum, and then you can put that together. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, first thing we want to do is you want to ask for an ISBN number. Input 12 digits. Enter first 12 digits of ISBN 13 number. Okay, enter that, and I'm going to call it ISBN. And then I want to checksum equals this. Okay, now all right, now these are actually the digits of the character digits of the ISBN number as converted to the number value of them. So there's different ways we can do this. What do my notes say? Oh, yeah, you can do it that way too. All right, let's look at this a little bit further. Let's say we loop from 1 to 12. Okay, let's create a loop, and let's go through each of these ISBN digits 1 through 12. Okay, so I'm going to make this a comment right now, and I'll come back to that later. But so let's do a loop for D in ISBN. That'll go through each character in this ISBN string, and we're going to call that character D. Okay. For all that, we're going to go. No, let's not do it that way. Let's do the for I in range 12. We might as well just do 12. Okay. ISBN. Yeah, let's do 12 because it's got to be 12. And we can, let's set D now equal to int of ISBN of I. Okay, so we take it. It does well. These numbers don't correspond with these numbers, but let's make them correspond to that. I think just to make it. No, that's not this. This is the 0th one. D1 is the 0th one. D2 is the first one. D3 is the second. Okay, so you got that. So this is right. This is going to be, this is going to be go from 0 to 11, and so when this is 0, this is going to be D1. You got that? Because these are numbered 1 through 12. Anyway, you should see that by now. All right, so now we have this digit, and I'm going to do this more like this up here. Okay, I'm sorry. If I is in range 1 to 13. Okay, so now I is going to go from 1 to 12. And so we want D equal to I minus 1. And then we want to look, and if you'll notice when this is I1, because I goes from 1 to 13 now, 1 to 12 now, so 1, this is the first one. You notice when I is 1, we don't multiply by 3. If I is 2, we multiply by 3. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, we multiply by 3. Otherwise, we don't. So, what I'm going to do is, if I mod 2 equals 0, then we multiply by 3. If I mod 2, yeah, if I mod 2 is 0, then it's an even number. Then we say, okay, I got to start off. Check some. I'm going to call it D term equals 0. And so D term is going to be this here. This is D term. So I'm going to start off D term is 0. If I mod 2 is 0, then it's an even number, and D term equals D term plus 3 times D because it's even. Otherwise, ELSE, D term, you just add D to it. Of course, I don't really need this. I can do it that way. So this I goes from 1 to 12, it's corresponding to this. And each time we grab out D, and the first digit is actually ISBN -1 because it's how it's read in. And so we check to see if the I is even. If it's even, we multiply this by 3 before we add it to this term. So we're summing up this. And in the end, we will have what that D term is. And then what we can do is we can, we're all done with the loop. We can say checksum equals 10 minus D term mod 10. Okay. And then we can say if checksum is 10, we have to replace it's 0 that gets so we can do checksum equals checksum mod 10. We could do that. Let's just do brute force. If checksum equals 10, checksum equals 0. Okay, print checksum. Okay, let's see if this works with the examples that we have here. Enter 12 digits of an ISBN number. Let me just tell you this. Enter 12 digits of an ISBN 13 number. I'm going to enter 978 013 113080, and it says out of range. All right. Did I type in an let me fix that. From 1 to 13, minus 1, 13. I must not have entered enough digits. If ISBN.len is not equal to 12, print not 12 digits. Otherwise, do this. All right. Is that? I think that's right. Okay, I think that's right. Let's run this just to see. Tell me if it's right or not. Okay, what happens if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, len is not. That's not how you do it. All right. Python string length. Oh, it's just. Oh, it's not a method of the string object. It's a separate function. So I need to do length. Oh, plus I said ISBN. What? What if I fix this? What if I work? Yes, okay. It's not. There's no All right, I got to do it this way. If then ISBN number 12. Okay, not 12. Okay, so let's run this again. And let's, I'm just going to, I am just going to copy this. Copy. And then paste. Control V. And it says 0. That's correct. That's sample run 2. That's sample run 1. Copy this. Copy. Run this. 6. Yeah, 6. Okay. So that's pretty good. You should be able to put that together. And the last question is, project 6. Oh, wait a second. Was that the last question? I think that was the last question. All right, so I guess we've done all 6 of them. All right, yes. So I hope this helps, and you should be able to finish up chapter 5 now. And thanks for watching.